Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of the Point and Click Devlog, a series in which I say things and, for some reason, a small number of people listen to them. In fact, we've just exceeded 50 subscribers now, which, if that includes you, makes you part of a very exclusive club indeed. One full of quite strange people with a very, very niche interest. So, thanks for being here. I've got a relatively short update today, just to keep the fire burning on the devlog while I keep pushing on with the early phases of the game. In this episode we're covering artwork processes, learnings, and even a tiny bit of early animation. So here we go. So first up, let's talk general progress. My Trello board has been a bit neglected recently while I've been on a bit of a treadmill in terms of backdrop creation, but things are going okay in the main. This game is going to have just over 30 backdrops, and so far I've done 13 of them. That would in theory be more than enough to pivot over to Visionaire Studio and start actually making the game, but I still want to get all these done first. And there are 3 reasons for that. One is that if I get them all done, then there won't be any hiccups or hold-ups at the next stage, and I'll be able to progress through development with every room in the game ready and waiting for me. The second reason is that getting all these done early on will hopefully mean I've made too much of the game to give up on it. After all, we all know that it is very difficult to push on with projects once they transition through that initial fun stage and become actual work. And the last reason is quite a pragmatic one, and that's that I need them all to look consistent. I'm kind of making up my artistic techniques as I go along here, across a few different apps as well, and I'm worried that if I stopped drawing backdrops now and then came back to them later, I might have forgotten my workflow, and that would probably result in room 32 looking wildly different from room 1. And that's something I'm already conscious of. A few times throughout this process I've stumbled across a new technique and then had to retroactively go back through the others and apply that to them. As it is now, I've settled into a decent workflow for each backdrop though. Step 1 is to consult my design document and figure out what each room needs to have in it. That means inventory items, environmental things that need to change or be interacted with, and thinking about where characters will be standing or sitting for their idle animation. Then I'm drawing in pixel art app Pixarchy, using one of 2 or 3 basic room templates for each one, both because I'm cutting corners and because the game takes place all on the different floors of one building, so I think some degree of uniformity makes sense. Once I've drawn the basic backdrop, I then export those into Affinity Photo, also on iPad. In there I quadruple the image's pixel count to make it 1080 by 1920, and then I add a bunch of gradients and other little effects to mimic lighting, and try not to overdo it. It's a weird mishmash of techniques, I know, and some of you might well think the resulting backgrounds look bad or technically substandard in some way, but I'm doing what works for me, and I think these are looking fine. I'm not setting out to win any awards here. And tonally, I think these sit comfortably somewhere between something like this and something like this, but I understand this is all very subjective. The other day I started dropping PNG images of different characters into these just as an experiment, and it's fun how much of a difference that can actually make. These games are all about the characters after all, and it's cool to see how much they come to life with just the addition of these Futurama guys, for example. In the final game, all of my backdrops are going to have rain outside the windows, as well as music and some ambient sound effects and other animations here and there, and I hope that will really help the final product feel alive. Speaking of animation, I did spend a little bit of time mucking about with this the other day. In the spirit of continuing my schizophrenic use of different apps, I actually started exploring Procreates animation tools, which I found really fun. Now, I've dabbled with animation in the past using Adobe Animate and got, semi-proficient with that, but given how much I enjoy using my iPad for creative stuff, I will probably use Procreate for everything here. The negative implication there is that everything will have to be hand animated rather than done using what they call tweens, which is frames that auto-animate objects moving from one point to another. But right now I think I can live with that. We'll cross that bridge soon after I've finished with these backgrounds, I guess, but for now, here's this guy giving a thumbs up. He won't be in the final game, don't worry. Anyway, that's more or less it for today. Suffice it to say that things are generally heading in the right direction still, and that I'm working through my backdrop list at a reasonably steady pace. And also, I just wanted to say thanks very much to all you early subscribers for your views, likes and comments. It's really encouraging to hear about your journeys and adventure game projects, and I'm loving the small community that's building up here. I'm typically quite bad at replying to comments, but I am reading every single one that comes in, and I'm amazed at how positive and friendly you all are, given, this is YouTube. So, thank you very much. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye.